Well, what if you can? What if you can own that you can shift things energetically, that you can work and achieve your dreams in a way that is just so much more aligned than hard slog? Yes, we get to put the work in. Yes, it's important to know who we are and where we are going. And that is all part of Mindset Alchemy. So, welcome to the Mindset Alchemy podcast. I'm Janine, your host, and I love creating awareness. I enjoy seeing people light up, understanding who they are, where they're going, and that they can turn their can'ts into cans and they can release other people's points of view around who they should be, where they ought to be going, and the best way that they get there. I help them to understand there's their best way, even though it may be different to somebody else's best way. Because for me, this was the most wonderful experience, understanding that when I can sit quietly, listen to that inner whisper, I get shown the best way for Janine to do something. And when working with clients, I sit quietly and ask, well, what's the best way for that person to achieve, to heal, to move forward, and to grow? I have come to understand working with energy that we can energetically shift a situation with greater ease, far less stress, and with a more focused emotion of expansion and love than any fighting, any pushing, any driving could do. Do we get to sometimes come and stand in confrontation where we can say, let's look at the challenge together rather than from opposing views? What would a common ground be? Where can I shift my energy so that the energy of the situation can shift? Something that very often I have found invaluable is when I'm going into a situation I'm uncomfortable with, I will wrap that situation in love. I will pull energy through the situation, through myself and out the back. If you're curious about that, reach out to me and we can chat about it. And I do the energy work before I go into the situation because that way I'm far more tuned into what is the higher vibrational solution? Where can I be in a better frequency around it? Where can I check my attitude at the door and put on an attitude of gratitude for this person mirroring to me where I can grow and change? One of my clients the other day was saying, oh, I wish I could solve this. I wish I could sort this. I cannot get there. And I said, well, stop. Let's say a little prayer, a quick prayer, a very heartfelt prayer, and let's look at the situation from an energy perspective and just pull energy through the situation out the back. Let's visualize different, better outcomes. Let's explore, well, what if? What if? It was just so beautiful to get a message from this client saying that the situation had been resolved. It was working much better. And when they got to be with the person, rather than being confrontational, it was collaborative. And in that collaboration, they were able to shift, to expand, and to move forward. When people say to me, well, there's nothing I can do, maybe physically you feel like there's nothing you can do. You can work energetically with it, see what can be released from your perception, your understanding, and your filters, and say, well, what if we could do it this way? What if we could do it that way? We can also wrap a situation in love. We can pull universal energy of love through situations, and we can ask that the highest good for everyone concerned comes about. And by asking a question, a better feeling question, we also shift the energy because then we start thinking, well, what would a higher solution be? We aren't there to solve it, we're there to ask a question. So, what's an example I've just had? I was working on something and I went, okay, Janine, what's the worst outcome that could happen? what's the best outcome that could happen, and what's the divine outcome that could happen. Now, let's go towards the divine outcome and just allow everything to unfold step by step by step. Yes, I made some mistakes along the way, and that's okay. I went, okay, lesson learned. This is how I grew. I know I can do that in future, and I can do it better that way the next time. And just allow the energy of success, of satisfaction, of curiosity to go in front of me through asking questions, by checking my attitude of I don't know at the door and putting on an attitude of, well, what if I did know? Where can I go with this? It's very important to acknowledge we don't know and then just say, okay, I don't know. Let me put you one side. What if I do know? What would it look like? What would I like the outcome to be? Where can I have fun and play and just work through love, that higher vibrational energy of love? Because when we work in love, we're looking for the best outcome for everybody. We're looking for the divinely inspired outcome, and we become very much more aware of what our inner whisper is telling us, what our body is sharing with us, what our soul is telling us. Because our bodies pick up on things. We're all psychic, we're all intuitive, because all it means is we can pick up from other people's energy from their bodies, and we get to move forward with it in a much better way. So, people, what are you curious about? Where can you check an attitude of, I don't know, I dislike this, I'm unavailable for this at the door, and come forward with a, well, how can life get any better than this? Where can I shift and change so that as I shift and change, the other person can shift and change? Where am I being asked to grow? What am I being asked to grow? For me, it was being asked to grow my courage. It was me being asked to grow my tech skills. And it was very scary. And when I looked at it and I went, I'm actually scared of the technical side of what I was doing, that I could go, you know what, you've got people you can ask for help. And I did. I think I was more scared of asking for help and looking foolish than sometimes the tech side. And I've learned, you know what? I'd rather appear foolish and allow that person to help me. And then my clients can benefit, other people can benefit, and I can fulfill my mission of creating awareness and feeding a higher consciousness than a lower one. And those fears are very well founded, because as a young person at school, you got punished when you failed. You got punished if it was out of alignment with what the teachers were looking for. It was just the way we grew up. And as an adult, I have chosen to mature into being able to do other things, to move away from that conditioning and to recondition myself and to reclaim my inner self so that I can work with my divine self. And as I help clients do this, it is just so incredible to see the light shine inside of them, because that is the light of awareness, the light of consciousness. Yes, they get to choose self-awareness, they get to choose the path of consciousness, and it's my journey to help them walk a better journey and to shift that script. So, where are you being asked to shift the conditioning, shift the script, and to see any conflict situations, confrontational situations, where they can become collaborative, and to increase what feels good, and is way more expansive. I will add at this point, sometimes when we're going through something and it feels really, really crummy and horrible, we come out the other end and we go, wow, look what I've grown, where I've grown, look at the benefits of it. Sure, that was sure a stretch. I know there are many times when I'm exercising, I go, what on earth am I doing this to myself for? And I look at the benefits of it, and it makes the hard work far, far more palatable, and I can work with it in a deeper way. I did find other ways that were less stressful and brought me different results because of asking that question. So today, my ask of you is, ask yourself, what is your vision? Where are you moving towards? And what does your future self share with you that you did today that you're very grateful for down the road? Have a good one. Bye bye.